And we're live. You're listening to Let's Talk, the SQPN community podcast. Hi, I'm Dom Bettinelli, and today I'm joined by Joanne Mercier. Hello, Joanne.
Happy Easter, Dom, Noëlle, everybody out there.
And happy Easter to you. And Noëlle, Noëlle Crowe, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Dom. Good morning.
So, folks, you can catch Let's Talk Live on Facebook each day this week at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, and we'll put it in the Let's Talk podcast feed as audio and on the SQPN YouTube channel as a video. We're going through this week. We've been going for about a month now with Let's Talk Live each weekday, which has been a lot of fun, but it is a lot of work, and folks are busy at home still, I think, with a lot of things. So we're going to take a bit of a break after Friday, and then we're going to find a way to bring this back in some form because it's a lot of fun, and it's great to get together with folks on a regular basis with you, our community, and our audience. And so we love to have that. So maybe a weekly or something like that, but we'll figure it out. So Noëlle and Joanne. Noëlle, how is your Easter week going this week?
Well, first of all, our Easter was actually really wonderful. We did something kind of special. I mentioned last time that I do Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, and since our children aren't at our school, we actually live streamed what we call the Liturgy of Light on Holy Saturday night. And it's a way that the children can kind of enter into the liturgy up close and hear the prayers repeated and get to see up close the Paschal candle. And we also connect it with baptism. So that was a really special way for me also of entering into the vigil by doing that live streamed for our children. So that was wonderful. And then we had lots of amazing food.
Yes, that is the apparently been a theme on this show anyway of all the amazing food we've all been eating. That's great. How about you, Joanne? How was your Easter?
It was a very surreal Easter for my husband and I, especially since I'm a liturgical person, and usually during this time I'm tearing all my hair out. But we were able to participate in live stream with our parish. And of course, the liturgist and me had to go around then and sample all the others to see how they were doing.
Sure.
And of course, we had good food because we had gotten a couple of roasts. So we made one up for Easter. But I'll tell you, it was a little lonely because usually we get together with his family. So,
Yeah.
But we tried to do some virtual stuff during the day. And I think it helped out a little.
Yeah, that's. I was mentioning yesterday. That's what we did. We Zoomed with my family and then with Melanie's family, and so we had a little bit of that. Did you get a chance to see family, Noëlle?
We did. My family did also a Zoom meeting in the evening, so we got to do that. We're in a kind of a better situation because since Tom and I bought a house, but it's been under renovation since we bought it, so we've actually moved back in with his housemate that he lived with for 8 years before we got married. So his housemate and his girlfriend were, we had two couples together. So it was a little bit less lonely, I think, than it could have been. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. That's good. I feel for, and I've said this similarly, I feel for the people who like live in the big city, like far away from family, like in New York or a big city, alone in an apartment. Stuck in there alone. I can't imagine how lonely that would become. I'd be crawling the walls.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I've done, Dom, since this whole thing started was every Sunday night I host a Zoom meeting for musicians in our area. So for a couple of, to debrief too, because some of them aren't working, some of them are alone. And it's been pretty successful because we at least get together for 90 minutes and blow off steam.
Nice.
So
that's good. That's good. I saw one social media thing where this guy in New York saw this pretty girl out like drinking tea or something on the roof of a building next to his, and started communicating with her. And he sent a drone over with an invitation to go to dinner, quote unquote, where they had virtual dinner where he was on his balcony and she was on her rooftop, and they had dinner. And so very cute. It's like a modern movie romance, but it's just in the time of pandemic. So it was very cute, very nice.
That is so cute.
I would trademark that for future use.
Yeah, somebody write that up as a script.
Exactly.
Speaking of good news, sorts of things. I mentioned, I think last week or the week before, one of the things I recommended was John Krasinski, the actor, from The Office and A Quiet Place, and Jack Ryan, had started a YouTube channel called Some Good News, where he wanted to highlight good news, and he's also kind of like using his celebrity and connections to people to do nice things for random people. Like last week, he had the cast of Hamilton sing a song over Zoom to this little girl who wasn't able to go to Hamilton in Orlando or something like that. So the original Broadway cast sang the song for it, which I'm like, nice. I would have just exploded. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So this past week, he had John Krasinski's from the Boston area, and so he was talking to nurses and doctors from his hometown hospital, Beth Israel Hospital in Newton, because that's where he's from, and they did a bunch of stuff, but one of the things they did was they arranged for all of the nurses and doctors in the COVID-19 unit got lifetime Red Sox tickets, not just tickets to a game. They got tickets to every game. And it was like David Ortiz, Big Papi himself, who made the presentation over the Zoom call. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
Yes, that was the best thing ever.
It was awesome.
It was so great. I started crying. I admit it.
It was really.
When they started running the bases and they had the sign up on the monster, on the scoreboard, I was like, oh.
I know. We're feeling it. We're feeling the lack of baseball. We've talked about that. Opening day would have been last week, but they got a ride in one of the duck boats from the hospital to Fenway Park, and they got to run the bases and throw out the first pitch and everything. So yeah, I can't imagine like how many people that must be for them to give. They're basically lifetime season tickets, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And season tickets are hard to come by.
Yeah, and I hope none of them were Yankees fans.
If they are, I would gladly accept their tickets.
Me too. Right
here. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty awesome. It's great of the Red Sox to do that, and it's just appreciation. It's like they represent all of the people on the front lines that we all appreciate. So we're really grateful for that. So that was pretty cool. So I should mention, speaking of the Red Sox, I have my T-shirt of the day, and I want to stand up so we can see it. This is another Star Wars. Let me get a move right into the shot. Star Wars Red Sox mashup shirt, but the other one was Yoda. This one is Darth Vader, and it's got Darth Vader. It says Boston Red Sox rule the league.
There you go.
Yeah, although I feel a little odd because we know that stormtroopers can't hit anything. So
true.
So that just I'm not sure I feel good about that with the Red Sox. But anyway, it was it's one of
and of course the Yankees are the evil empire. So
of course, right. The Red Sox are more the rebellion, the resistance against the evil empire.
Yeah.
I'm not sure all baseball fans would agree.
No.
So that's the T-shirt of the day. So let's get to your recommendations. Noëlle, do you have a recommendation for something people should check out today?
I do. And going still with my classic movie theme, I'm going to pick actually a really obscure movie from 1957, but it's just such a sweet movie about family, faith, and relationships. It seems like the perfect thing to check out, to get to know a little bit more about right now. And it stars the incomparable Judy Holliday. Judy Holliday is, if you are not familiar with her, she's an incredibly smart actress and made a career out of playing the ditzy dumb blonde. But she's so smart and she does it so well. And in this movie, she's playing more to herself, and she's really smart, and she's in this great relationship with her husband. She's expecting her first child. He's a writer. She's his like number one proofreader and critic. And so it's just this great relationship where they have a lot of respect for each other. And she's a thinker. She's sort of a philosopher. She's reading all these books and things. But the thing is that he's a son of Italian immigrants, and they have a problem in their house that they can't afford to fix. So they kind of decides, all right, I have to go ask my father, who's this laborer, to come and fix this for me. But it's sort of the classic immigrant thing, right? He's moved away from all of that and doesn't really want to go to see his family, but he kind of swallows his pride and they go and ask his father. And so it's just this sort of coming back into the family fold, getting to appreciate what he had left behind in his Italian family heritage and sort of what his father, brings, and not just sort of this loud immigrant. But one of the things that he also left behind, as he became a writer and everything, was his Catholic faith. And so there's also this sort of realization, well, why did I leave the Catholic faith, and kind of coming back in. And Judy Holliday, she's not Catholic, but definitely open. She's that searching mind. So anyways, it's just a really sweet film about faith and family, and the kind of film that sometimes you don't see these days, where there's sort of this honest searching for the faith that happens. So
what's the title again?
Check it out. It's called Full of Life.
Full of Life.
And of course, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's for the time a much more realistic depiction of pregnancy than you usually get for the 1950s. So it's kind of fun to see. And so actually, well, speaking of Full of Life, can I just throw in a little extra? I want to say happy 48th anniversary to my parents. Speaking of Full of Life.
Awesome. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And 48 years today.
Wow.
So.
Fantastic. Yeah. I love your parents. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Joanne, what's your recommendation today?
Well, I'm going to one of my guilty pleasures. I have a few of those, and I never expected to get caught up in this particular series on TV, but it is The Masked Singer.
Oh,
now,
wow.
I'm a big American Idol fan, always have been. I couldn't get into The Voice. I couldn't get into, America's Got Talent. But this one intrigues me because all the singers are masked and you don't know who they are.
And they're not always professional singers, right?
Correct. You can get anybody behind those masks.
Yes.
So I started watching it, I believe the end of last season. This is on Fox. If you want to catch up with seasons 1 and 2, it's on Fox now. Season 3 is also on there. But there has been, someone from New England has been on this season.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, didn't make it too far, but it was definitely delightful. But it's just a great chance for the family to sit there and guess who these people could be. I mean, I have a really good guess for who the astronaut is this year, but I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But it's really just a lot of fun. It's on Fox. It's usually Wednesday nights. Now, the only problem with these shows is I don't know how far in advance they actually recorded. I don't know if they're going to get to a conclusion. American Idol right now is kind of stuck. And I noticed that tonight's Masked Singer is sort of a sing-along version. I'm like, don't tell me they've only gotten this far. Well, I hope I'm not, suggesting something, but go back to seasons 1 and 2 if you've never seen it. So you get to see the whole thing. It's really just a lot of silly fun.
Okay. I haven't watched it myself, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't either, but my two of my sisters, they love it and they're always talking about it. And I was super intrigued. I just haven't found the time yet to sit down and watch it. So
here's the time. Got the time now.
I'm going to grab Tom and make him sit down with me. And
I saw something in the news about American Idol that they're going to actually start doing it over like Skype or Zoom or whatever platform they have to keep it going. I saw Netflix did so Tiger King is huge. I'm not necessarily recommending that. It's unless you like train wrecks, but because it was so huge for Netflix, they have an after show that they just recorded, like to sort of a follow up to what happened, hosted by the actor Joel McHale. But he's like doing it over Skype, or whatever. Like it's very like low rent. It's like, hey, they're at the level of technology we're at. SQPN.
I'll tell you, some of these shows, like right now, there's an afternoon talk show on called The Talk with 5 women, and I have not really liked it in studio. I'm actually enjoying it in Zoom because it doesn't get silly. I mean, they're in their homes. They're actually talking. It's not over the top, and I'm really more enjoying that. So, who knows where television's going to go from here?
It's like the late night shows too. It's become network TV, cable television has become like YouTube, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, great recommendation. So that's good. I think we should probably wrap it up there. We've had a good conversation. We do want to take a moment, as we always do, to thank our patrons whose generous donations make it possible for us to create Let's Talk and all the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. We'd love to hear from you. You can contact us by visiting sqpn.com or the StarQuest Facebook page at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia, or send us an email to letstalk@sqpn.com. Until next time, Noëlle Crowe, thank you for joining me on Let's Talk.
Thanks, Dom. Good to see you always.
You too. Joanne, thank you as well.
Thanks, Dom.
And once again, I'm Dom Bettinelli. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk on StarQuest.